Hey everyone, this is going to be a first look here at the new Alamein map that came with Update 14 and the arrival of British forces. We are here at the Axis spawn. You see the Axis recon tank is at the bottom, medium is in the mid with the supply truck, and the light is up top. I've done this for the British forces already, and it's symmetrical. It's the light tank is up here, the medium tank is here, and the recon tank is in the British bottom spawn. So that is just the note on where the armor starts. And without too much further introduction, we kind of rolled all these points here in a line. I'd like to focus on the middle 9 capable sectors, so basically from H to C. But we'll take a look at everything here because it is pretty neat. It is, I think it's a good looking map, but I'll leave that up to you. This is the HQ sector zone here on the oh boy, south side? Yeah, south side for the Axis. You got some high ground, you got some terrain, some buildings, some trenches, and the approach here could be a little bit nasty. Moving further up to that second capable zone, the watchtower. Yeah, it has a watchtower, some outbuildings here, some other buildings on the back side. It's got this ridge, and if you're going to come directly down the hill, you got not much but open ground on that side. There are some trenches down here on the front end for the Axis folks, likely for the Axis folks that wrap around the side here. Of course, as you all know, if you lose those, they then become pretty decent staging grounds for attacks up. We have these rusted out old tank traps here. All right, we'll move up to the valley. The valley is pretty neat looking. I mean, there's a lot of buildings in it. It is like you'll see with the British point back there. It's a point where there are buildings in low ground surrounded by high terrain, and so yeah, certainly this is the most urban capital point on the map, and it is in the center cap there. If we run out to the edge, if you're wondering, like, this is what it looks like. I mean, if you're one of those, no judgment. I mean, I do this too, but you move a lot towards, you hug the boundary there. You're not going to get very much cover. I think unlike some other maps where folks concerned about cover, there's not much vegetation on this map, and so people who do funny stuff with their settings to get a little sweatier, they're not going to be able to rely on that as much because there just isn't. But there does seem to be a lot of variation in terrain. Well, I'll leave it at that. You can figure out what the implications of that are. This is the hangar, and you can see that there is this ridge here. There's not much cover. I mean, you're either on one side or the other, but it allows you to look down into both points. And there is this area right up here. Some walls, that little busted out building. That from here you look down into the valley, and you also look over to the British hangars. One of the odd things about the British, the kind of layout of the points, is that between the second capable sector from the HQ for the British and the mid cap, there is this really big open flat space that runs up to this ridge. So this is the Oasis, by the way. This is the middle center capable point. It's, I don't know. Well, there are buildings on both sides of the Oasis. This is coming at it from the Brits or the Commonwealth's perspective. This is it coming from the Germans. There's a peak on the German side back here. You can also see these buildings up here, which overlook, again, this is from the German side, looking towards the British side. That's looking into the valley, and that's looking into the Oasis. And in terms of how you attack, I'll leave it up to other folks to figure out how that works. But that spine would make it pretty difficult to come from that direction. You most likely would have to probably come up close and then get wedged in here and then close in the last 100 meters. But that's that. I know I said I wanted to take a look at all the Brit stuff, but I figure since I'm looking at well, I'm already here, so let's just stay here. We'll finish up on the Axis side, and then we'll go from there. So this is the northernmost Axis capital sector here. in that second cap zone for them right outside their HQ. Here you can see there's variations in terrain, quite a few buildings, some stairs, and then there's this ridge that abuts it, and one would imagine the degree you can control this, you can make it very difficult to cross up here. But if you're able to take this, you might have some decent shots down into this point here. In terms of what it looks like from the map edge, if you're going to try to crawl along the border, we're just about at it, and you can see there's not a lot happening here for those who want to hang out near the border's edge. All right, to the middle in the second capable zone here. This is the German position. I mean, good luck, right? I mean, if you're going to come straight on from the British side, yeah, good luck. I guess maybe. Yeah. So again, this little tiny whatever dwelling space here. Maybe I don't think it's part of any hard cap, but it would seem to influence at least 3 of the hard caps around it, and most likely the control of this spine on the backside might dominate this point here on the German center cap. All right, I was trying to finish up the mid caps, and let me go back to those now. This is just interesting. I mean, this is pretty well built out. I mean, compared to other things you're going to see on this map, right? We get these buildings here. I believe this is called, I'm going to get this wrong, I want to call it the Rat's Nest, or I think it's the Rat Trenches is the actual name of the hard cap up here. But you're on high ground. You got some fortifications built. You're looking down. I don't think that building is the British hard cap for the capital zone. I think it's further back. It's the fuel depot, actually, which is, yeah, the mid cap looks into the British capable point here. This one is the fuel depot. You see where we are on the map. Yikes! Right. So maybe capturing this point here might offer a little bit of cover. Right, we have the continued undulations in the terrain. Right, this might carry the approach up to the rat trenches, and we already looked at the oasis. So we'll finish the British side, and all that we haven't done here in this capital zone is, I believe this is called Airfield Command or Air Command, something like that. It's just this bunker. And blind side, there's some ambient hangar noises there, and apparently some vegetation that grew up. Anyways, this is the hangar, and it's pretty neat. I mean, and you get to look at the planes up close, right? So it's cool in that respect. More ambient hangar noise, but it's kind of the inside of a hangar. This, like other positions, common theme on the map, it is a hard cap surrounded by quite a bit of, there's this spine that wraps around it. So we're now looking at this from the German angle. This is this set of buildings here, and the trenches here look into, as you can see, the valley, the mid cap, and also airport hangar, and certainly armor has a peek into the British Airfield Command. All right, all the way back to the quarry. I would not want to have to defend the quarry from the hard cap. Because, well, there is the quarry settlement, and you can see it's just surrounded almost all the way around with this high ground. But the high ground itself, right, once you're up on top of it, doesn't offer all that much protection. It's just whatever little defilades you can find on your approach in. But you certainly don't want to just be hunkering down in that hard cap, because your life is going to be miserable and short. Okay, so we're at the quarry, and I'll just show you for the sake of completing them all. These are the HQ sector zones. Here is the British one. It's pretty. Again, I think it looks great. That's my opinion. You're not here for that, so I'll show you that. And then this is the northernmost HQ sector for the the Brits. I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, you're looking down there into Fuel Depot, and you can see the center cap, what was it, the rat trenches, up there. And there's just this spine here that kind of hangs out that if you don't lose control of, it's a commanding position. All right, this is supposed to be a brief flyover and tour here of the Alamein map. And hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see how it plays out as the new meta develops.